This is a recap for Monday, April 19th. And hopefully this is a better sounding recap than in previous recaps because I'm using a mic here at school. Today in class was a bit of a transition today, first day back for students in class. So I'll just go over what we did, and it wasn't as much as maybe we would have done in a regular period, but we did get to some math. So we watched this video right here, Introduction to Percents, and we just watched the first part of it, and we took notes, and this is really the page that we took notes on. So I'm just going to use my tool to write on the top, and we just filled in. She talked a little bit about the fact that percent literally means out of 100. So percent means out of 100. So 5 out of 100 is 5%. So this is 5%. And we just write it this way right here, and we can almost see the 100 in here. It just used to be that way, and then it got dropped into this symbol right here. So that means percent. So 45% as a fraction is 45 per 100. 45 out of 100. Or 7% is 7 out of 100. And 270, even though it's more than 100, is 270 out of 100. And then we can change those to decimals. It doesn't ask us to in this particular card, but we could do 0.45 or 0.07. It'd be important to put that 0 there to get the place value in the right place. And then place value, this one would be 2.70 or just 2.7. And then we worked on the whiteboard today, which in class it's kind of nice to have an actual whiteboard where we could do some examples, like just kind of keep going. What would 5% be? That's 5 out of 100. Some of the IXL problems asked us to simplify, so then we would have to simplify that to 1/20th. Speaking of IXL, let's get out of here and go to IXL. That's another thing that we did. And we just worked on L2. So writing 87 hundredths as a percent is just 87%. So we use that percent symbol. And if I need to, I can write on top of this 1/25th as a percent. It's actually a pretty challenging one for a score of only 10. So we would write 1/25th, and we want that as a equivalent fraction. We're a 100 because this means per 100. And so we could use a multiplier on this, times 4 times 4. And so we would change that to 4.04 or 4%. So let's check this, and let's put in 4%. And let's clear this. And 30% as a decimal is 0.3. You could put 0.3, or you could put 0.30. Both of those are the same percent. 70% as a fraction. I was told that we needed to simplify. I'm going to try not simplifying and see what happens. So this should be 7/10, but I'm going to put 70 over 100, which is equivalent, and it still says it's correct. And so I'll just keep going that way. 80 over 100 until it, so that one says that, I didn't write that one as a decimal. I wrote it as a fraction. So I'm going to slow down a little bit and say, okay, I got it. All right, so this one is write 1/2 as a percentage. So I'm going to actually write on this one 1/2. I'm going to change it to a fraction first. And I know that's 50 out of 100, and that is 50%. So this is asking for a percent. So I'm going to write 50%. And let's see if we can get our score up a little bit more. I'll just do a few more of these. 37, and I use the percent sign, not the ampersand, but the percent. 57 as a fraction is going to be 57. over 100 as a fraction. Let's go back here and get rid of that. And this could be 0.4 or 0.40. All right, so this is a good one to explain. 7/10 as a percent. 7/10 equals what over 100? So we can put a variable there. 10 times 10 is equal to 100. So 7 times 10 is equal to 70, and that's 70%. The percent, and 0.2 as a percentage. And this one sometimes gets people because they want to write 2%. So let's be careful with this one and take a look at it and write it. This is one to be careful about. 0.2, 0.2 is equal to 2/10, and that's equal to 20 out of 100. So it's tempting to call it 2%, but it's actually 2 out of 10, which is the same as 20 out of 100 if we multiply those both by 10. So this is 20%. And 50% is 1/2 as a fraction. Some of these you just want to get them memorized. And this is a good one to be careful about in saying it. Instead of saying 0.09, if you say the place value, 9/100ths, the place value again goes like this. This is ones, the decimal, tenths, hundredths. So 0 ones, 0 tenths, and 9/100ths. 9/100ths like that is going to be 9%. And this is 0.15 or 15. Whoa, that was 15 thousandths. We want 15/100ths. And this is a good one. 210% is 210 over 100. If I simplify that, that's going to be 2.1, and that's 2 1/10. So it says write it as a fraction or a mixed number or a whole number. How do you write 210% as a fraction, a mixed number, or a whole number? So I would write 2 space 1/10. And I got an awesome on that one. Right, 1/2 as a percentage is 50%. And I'm going to put the percent sign in there. We might as well just take this up to 90. This is 88%. And this is 0.6 as a decimal. And 1.94 as a percent is an interesting one. I'm going to write this one out. And that is 1.94 as a percent is 1 94/100ths. So this is 100. 1 is 100/100ths. They both have to be over 100, and 94 over 100. That's 194 over 100, and that is 194%. So we have to be really careful with this 1 right here, that becomes 100 over 100. And the period, the decimal point, that becomes an and. It's 1, which is, so if we separate those out, 1 and 94/100ths, if we wanted to combine those, that's 100/100ths plus 94/100ths. And that's where we get 194%. let's put in percent. Looks like we need one more problem to get to 90. So 21 over 25 equals 25 times what is equal to 100? It's 4. So 21 times 4 is 84. So that looks like this is 84%. And looks like we are done with that tool. 84%. See if that gets us to our 90. Okay, and that is a recap for Monday, April 19th.